this week's episode of the talk show. My name is Elijah Tanimola. Last week I started with questions and answers on fantasy versus reality, and I believe that you were blessed watching that episode. And if you have not seen that episode, just go on my channel, you will see the part 1 there. The last question I took last week was, sir, can you tell me the reality discussions I ought to have during my courtship? And I mentioned kind of number of discussions that you should have, but I want to add to it that you should also do a character check. That is, check his temper, check his generosity, check his self-control, because those things are very important. They are very vital. I want you to understand that it's not enough for you to marry a fine guy or a fine babe. I'm saying that that is not enough. It may be enough for you to pose and to have good pictures, but it's not enough for you to enjoy a good marriage. So you should do more of deeper checks than the physical checks. I hope you get that. Another question I have here is, can I marry a lady that is older than me? I know a lot of people have these questions in their mind. They have come into, they have found themselves in this situation, and I want to say that age is not really significant, as it were, in a relationship. What is most important is maturity. If the guy is mature, because I know there are quite a number of people that are mature, more mature than their age, and we have seen basically that age is not a guarantee of maturity. Maturity has to do with your exposure, it has to do with your experience, it has to do with your level of knowledge and wisdom that you exude. So it is not, age is not enough. A person can be older than you, your guy can be far older than you, and yet very, very immature. And you may be older than him, and yet he is very mature. So maturity is the key thing. It's not the age per se. You will see that, oh, this person is more mature, he can handle me, he can handle my intelligence, he can handle my capacity, he can handle my thoughts, he can handle my future aspirations and things like that. Is what you should look at. Those are the things that are basically more important. And you can see in the Bible, in the book of Exodus, chapter 6, verse 20, we saw about, we said about Amram, that he married his father's sister, Jochebed, that is, and that those are the parents of Aaron, Moses, and Miriam. Actually, there are so many arguments concerning this. I don't want to go into the argument whether the woman was older or thereabouts. But the thing is, he actually married his aunt, and those days, there was no law against marrying your relative and things like that. But I want to say that with what we have seen, it could be most likely Jochebed was older than Amram, and they had good seeds. We can see what their seeds turned out to be. We saw Aaron, the first high priest of Israel. We saw Moses, the great prophet of Israel. We saw Miriam, that great prophetess. And so I'm saying in essence that maturity is the major thing. So age may not be so significant as far as relationship and marriage is concerned, but look out for maturity. That is very important. Another question I have here is, at what stage in our relationship should we start facing reality? Oh, okay. I can't say that this is the number of period, this is the time you should start facing reality. But I want to say that you should start facing reality even from the very beginning. I understand that at the early stage you may fantasize around about so many things. When the fantasy stage is such that everything that your guy does or everything that your babe does is just fine. It's just fine. You just take everything. Say, hey, do you like my hair? Yes, I love it. Do you like the way I speak? Yes, I love it. Do you like my legs? Yes, I love it. Do you like my walk? Yes, I love it. Everything is likable during fantasy stage. But during reality stage, when you want to face reality, then you start seeing those things that you don't like, those things that need adjustment, those things that need modification and things like that. So you can really tell your spouse, and you can really tell your babe and say, oh babe, I think you are growing more fatter. I think you are beginning to neglect your looks and things. And you can tell straight talks. I don't like the way you talk. You talk with saliva and on both sides of your mouth and things like that. You can say straight up, oh, I don't think I think you need to develop your temper is too much and things like that. You need to work on your temper and things like that. So I want to say this, that you should start facing reality at the beginning, because the earlier you start facing reality, the better for you to evolve earlier. Evolution is as a result of the reality that you have faced. You have settled it with your mind, and you have decided in your heart to actually make necessary adjustments. I hope you get what I'm trying to say. So it is the earlier you start facing reality, the earlier for you to actually evolve into the personality, the figure that you can that both of you can agree together to work with, and that is very, very important. A lot of people, they just fantasize around, they don't face reality, and so they don't evolve. But when marriage comes, because marriage automatically brings reality at your face, and when that reality shows up, they find it the struggle to cope with that reality because they have not faced it earlier. So they start facing it in marriage, and most of it. And I want to tell you this: when you start facing reality, there will be a lot of arguments. There will be a lot of misunderstandings, and it's your ability to scale through that reality phase that brings you to the place of evolution. And when you have evolved, what you have evolved into is what you can go to work together and achieve great success with. So that's very, very important. So I would say that you should start facing reality early in your relationship. That will help you a lot. The next question I have here is, most of my suitors, this is quite much, said most of my suitors seem to be everything in a man apart from being a serious Christian. But then I have this guy who is everything plus a serious Christian, but the issue is that he seems to be tilting towards becoming a pastor. And I don't want to marry a pastor. I am confused, although I feel more at peace with the last guy apart from the ministry thing. I get it. A lot of ladies, especially people that grew up from a pastoral background, perhaps their dad is a pastor, their mom is a pastor, a lot of them don't want to marry a pastor. That's the truth. And it is because of the things that they have seen, because of the struggles they have seen their parents go through, because of the challenges they have seen their parents go through, because of the distance they can see between themselves and their parents. And I don't blame them for that. I also have the same background, so I understand the challenges that are associated with growing up in a pastor's house, or that your father is a pastor, your mom is a minister, and things like that. I want you to understand this clearly. I don't want you to build a prejudice concerning this issue. Don't have a prejudice concerning it. Don't have a stonewall attitude concerning it. Have an open heart concerning it. The point is, things are evolving now. I know some don't want to marry a pastor because of their dress sense. Those days pastors don't really have sound dress sense. Sometimes they wear suit or sandal. Imagine, why are you dressed this way? And we are in a generation whereby things are evolving, and people have, and a lot of ladies have built that mental figure about who a pastor is. They have built their mental figure that a pastor has to be poor, that a pastor has to be wretched, and things like that a pastor has to be unavailable for his family. Those are the constraints that a lot of ladies have. Those are the clauses that they have. I want to say to you that things are evolving, things are changing, and that is why I advise, don't marry the man because he's a pastor. Don't marry the man because he's anointed. Marry the man because you are pleased with his personality and you are convinced about him. Because there's a man behind that anointing. There's a man behind that pastoral calling, behind that pastoral office, behind that pastoral title. So that is the most important thing you should look out for. Now, so as for this person's case, other guys that have been coming to me, they are not Christian. Then they are out of it. Basically, they are out of the game, because the Bible says do not unequally yoked with unbelievers. So they are out of the game. They are not part of people that you should consider to marry, because that would be tantamount to being equally yoked with unbelievers. But this guy that is coming to you is all everything apart from the fact that he's treating to your ministry. I want to say that look at this guy clearly. Do you like him? Do you like his character? Do you like his personality? Do you like his person? If you do, then don't let that prejudice you have concerning ministry and pastoral calling rob you of enjoying a good marriage, a good relationship with this guy. The point is, the call is attractive, and it is more attractive in our time. I know there are a lot of challenges that we face as pastors, as ministers of the gospel, but I want to say that actually the best person you can marry is the one that fears God. I'm not saying he's a pastor. I said the man that fears God. The man that fears God. So if you have a man that fears God, that man will be faithful. If you have a man that fears God, that man will always listen to what God is telling him concerning you. If you have a man that fears God, that man will do all in his capacity to ensure that he amends his ways even when he makes mistakes. That man will do all in his capacity to ensure that you enjoy peace in that relationship, in that marriage. So don't because of that prejudice that you have, rob yourself of the good thing that God has ordained for you. I hope you get that. That's very important. The next question I have here says, I have heard you say all people do in their relationship is to go to cinemas, restaurants, and all about having fun. Are you saying it is wrong to engage in these things during courtship? Okay, let me balance this for you. I am not saying it is wrong for you to have fun, to take yourselves out and enjoy and have some social lifestyle. What I'm saying is this: don't let that be your primary focus in your relationship. Those things should be secondary. Your primary focus should be around the things that are more important, like your vision, your purpose, your spiritual growth, your intellectual compatibility, the things, your character development and things like that. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't have fun. I'm not saying that you shouldn't take yourselves out, you shouldn't go on a date, cinema, and a restaurant. But I'm saying if that is all you do during your courtship period, during your dating period, then you are missing the point. Because marriage is not all about that. Marriage is more about the things that has to do with your purpose, the things that has to do with your vision. Those are the things that are important. If all you do is do the fun thing and you don't take and you don't discuss about the things that are sustainable, the things about your career, the things about your future, then you are simply missing the point. You are simply missing the point. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have fun. You should have fun, but make that secondary. And when I say have fun, I'm not saying sinful fun. I'm not saying fun that are sinful. I'm saying fun that are righteous. It's not bad for you to take yourself out to the cinema. It's not bad for you to go to a restaurant. It's not bad for you to play together. It's not bad for you to go on social outing together. There's nothing wrong with that. What I'm saying is that should be secondary. That should be secondary. I've seen a lot of people they had several years of dating, several years of courtship, and all they did was that. And when marriage showed up, they could not sustain their marriage for more than a year. They could not withstand the heat of the reality that dawned on them in their marriage. That's what I'm saying. So focus on the things that will sustain your marriage. Focus on the things that are primary. Focus on the things that are foundational to keep your marriage, to safeguard your marriage, to hold your marriage, to sustain your marriage. Focus on those things as primary. Then do every other thing. The fourth thing is secondary. I hope you get what I mean by saying by the state, by all that people do is go to cinemas and how to get the balance. I'm not saying you should not do those things. They are good for you to also bond. But I'm saying that they should be treated as secondary. Don't forget that. Another question I have here is, my boyfriend is cool and has every major attribute a good man should have, but I don't like his physique. Plus, he doesn't know how to dress. I feel I won't want to associate with him publicly if I marry him. What would you advise? My boyfriend is cool. And by cool, I believe he has good. Okay, he said he has every major attribute, so I'm a good man. That's great. But I don't feel like I don't like his physique because he doesn't know how to dress. Okay. I once told someone, I've also studied a number of single ladies when they say, oh, I like your physique, I like your build, I want my man to be as, to have this kind of build. I said to them, if that is your spec, then most likely you wouldn't have married me before I got married. Because I didn't fit into that physique. I didn't fit into that spec that you're talking about then. But things have changed. My wife has tried on me, and things like that. So the point is all about work. Marriage is all about work. Relationship is all about work. Work on your spouse. Work on your spouse. Don't compare your spouse with another person. Every person that you see, every spouse that you see that have looked better than they were before they got married, it is a product of their product of work. They are product of work. We are all product of work. Our spouses worked on us. We worked on our spouses. So it's a continuous thing. It's a responsibility. So if you don't like his physique now, the physique can change. You can work on it. See, everything that is on the outside, maybe you should go to a teaching I did on, I did husband specs and I did name her correctly. I did quite a number of teachings I talked about that. I talked about the relationship and giving her. Now, the point is this. I want you to understand that everything that has to do with a physical look, everything that has to do with the way you speak, the way you have, the way you dress, the way you look, those things can be adjusted with time. Those things can be adjusted with time. He doesn't have muscles, it can be adjusted. He looks too skinny, it can be adjusted. She looks too fat, it can be adjusted. Those things can be adjusted. Doesn't know how to dress. That one is even easy. The point is, so far your spouse, so far your husband is teachable. Your husband has a teachable, so far he does. Those things can be improved on. Those things can be improved. In fact, the point is, a lot of time when I'm going out, I'm dressed, my primary mirror in my house is my wife. So I will ask her, how do I look? If she says, oh, change this, do that. All of the videos you see me shoot, my wife most of them now has to approve. She has to approve the things that I wear, the way I look. So the point is it's all about work. Those things can be improved on. You can browse out color combination. Go on Pinterest, you can get those things. Go to the Those things are not they are not that serious. I know you may not want to associate with him in the public, but the point is you can work on those things that you don't like. You can work on them. And the good thing is that you said yourself that the person has every major attribute that a good man should have. Then what else? The physique, you can work on it. The dress sense, you can work on it. So what I will advise is work on him. And if you say he has a major attribute that a good man, that means he must have a teachable heart. So you can teach him. Teach him how to dress. When he's going out, tell him, oh, guy, that color doesn't match that other color. Wear this sandal, wear this shoe. If his wardrobe is scanty or if his wardrobe is poor, so to say, then help him upgrade his wardrobe. You don't have to spend your own money. So many times some guys that have the money, but they don't know they need to improve on their wardrobe. So help him to improve on his wardrobe, collect money from him, and help him to go and buy good dress that you want to see on him. So that's what I would advise. He's a good man. Stick with that good man. You get it now. The Bible says in Proverbs 20 verse 6, it said, many a man claim to have unfaith. Many a man claim to have to have unfailing love, but a faithful man who can find. So if you have found a faithful man, then my dear, stick to that. Work on the things you need to work on, and I believe that you later on you will see him and you won't believe your eyes, because he has transformed his faith that you desire. I hope you get that correctly. The next question I have here says, my boyfriend says I don't have to cook when we get married because he knows I don't like to and don't even know how to. We eat outside every time we are together, but I notice he fantasizes a lot about his mother's homemade meals. Will it be that we are simply not facing reality? Okay. Your boyfriend says it doesn't matter, you don't want to cook, you don't know how to cook, eat out, every time you are together. But if I'm talking about his mother's homemade meal, my dear, you are not facing reality. Because that guy loves homemade meals. He's just in the fantasy state. And I said earlier, the fantasy state, everything looks good. Everything is okay by me. Everything is fine by me. If you ask me, oh, do you mind if I don't cook? Oh, it's okay by me. Do you mind if we eat outside every time? Oh, it's okay by me. Do you mind if we order food every time? Oh, it's okay by me. Everything is okay by him. Everything is okay by her. But I'm telling you, watch out for the subtle signals like this one that you have identified. If he fantasizes about his mother's homemade meal, my dear, you will cook. Oh. If you don't cook, then there will be trouble. It's either you start learning how to cook, or you face the consequences in marriage. So face the reality now. If you want to stick with him, face the reality that you will cook. Because if you don't do that, then most likely you will go outside and eat homemade meal in another woman's house. And once he starts eating homemade meal in another woman's house, I'm not saying maybe he goes on a visit, but he starts doing that regularly, then you are gone. That is gone. You have lost him. So start facing the reality now. If he says, oh, don't worry, every time we go to, it's just fantasy. It's not realistic. And you must get this one. It's not realistic. You can't be going to KFC every day for 50 years of your marriage. It cannot work. It cannot work. It happen. It cannot work. So get that correctly. Don't face the reality now. If you want to stick with him, if you fantasize about his mother's homemade meal, my dear, he wants you. He likes homemade meal. And if he likes homemade meal, one way or the other, one day in that marriage, because your courtship is just a small period of time. This is also a small period of time. You only see, it's not every time that you see, but in marriage you see every time, every day, every time, every year. So you must understand that one day, at one stage, you will request for that. So prepare for that time before it comes, so that you won't be a victim of the consequences. I hope you get that. Alright, we have come. This is the last question I'll be taking on this episode. And I believe that so far you have gained one or two things. You can send in other questions, you have them, and I promise I will treat them in subsequent episodes by God's grace. Now the last question I have here says, I have never seen my partner get angry at me or before me, though we have distant relationship. Would that be his real personality or it's all a facade? Oh, okay. Because you said you have distant relationship, then I would say it could be a facade. It could be, it may not be his real personality, because the point is, I can always pretend to be someone else in a short period of time. In fact, we have seen people pretend for 2 years. Out of a story of a guy that pretended to be a Christian for 2 years because he wanted to marry a church girl. And on the wedding night, the guy brought out the prayer tools of his religion, the girl didn't suspect it. It was a major blow for the girl. So I'm saying that people can pretend. So if you're having a distant relationship, then you need to look closer. You need to ask some straight talks. You need to have some straight talks with him. Sometimes you may even need to provoke him to anger. I'm not saying that you provoke him to anger that you will break your head. Okay. But I'm saying that sometimes you may need to test that temper. Because he doesn't get angry. I don't know who doesn't get angry. I don't know. Even the Bible says, be angry, but don't let the sun go down on your anger. So it's not I'm not saying that you can't attain that height of maturity that the things that get people angry doesn't get you angry. But I'm saying that for someone not to get angry at all at you or at anybody, then you may need to look closer. You may need to look closer. It's either is unreal or you are not seeing it yet. Or you are not noticing it yet. Perhaps you are also blinded by fantasy. So you need to probably ask some other people that have been closer with him over the years. Maybe some close associates, some close friends that they have had over the years, even his siblings. Just ask them, I have not seen your brother get angry before. Is that he doesn't get angry? Ask them. I hope they will tell you the truth. And also to try and test that temper. There are things that you can do to test the temper, but I'm not saying you should go overboard that it will cause you great harm on the long run. So I'm saying that because you're having this kind of relationship, maybe all a facade, and you need to see closer, inquire closer, and test it so that you will not be shocked at the end of the day. You know, there was a story that I was told that the lady on their engagement night, after the engagement, the guy got angry, the husband got angry. The next day is their wedding ceremony. The husband got angry and he slaps the girl, the wife to be. It has never happened before throughout their country. It has never happened before throughout the I guess perhaps the guy was just, you were just doing fantasy. The guy was just holding himself that, oh, don't worry, because I have not secured you now, I can't express myself that way. But I was told that the girl had to run for her dear life. So the girl didn't show up for the wedding ceremony. But it shouldn't have come to that, really. That should have been figured out earlier. And that's why I said do character check. Temper. Those are part of the reality check. Generosity. Those are part of the reality check. Self-control. Those are part of the reality check. If the guy is pressuring you to have sex with you, you have agreed that you are not going to have sex before you get married, which is the right thing to do, then check out self-control. Can he control himself? Yeah, I've seen scenarios where they say, oh, they have agreed that they won't have sex until they get married, but the guy is satisfying his sexual urge with someone else outside. So the guy doesn't have self-control. He's only agreeing to the terms of your relationship. So he believes that he has not broken the terms of the relationship by going outside to satisfy his sexual needs. And that's not a man that has self-control. Because on the long run, what will happen in that relationship? So that means there'll be a lot of unfaithfulness, infidelity, and things like that. I believe that from the things the questions and the answers I've given, you have been able to get tangible things that will help you in your relationship and will help you to face reality early in order for you to evolve into the right personality and the right persons, the partners that you desire for you, that is needful for you to enjoy God's ideal in your marriage. Like I said earlier, if you have other questions that I have not had opportunity to treat on these two episodes, you can send those questions on the comment section or send a WhatsApp message to the number that will be on the comments on the description below. Send your questions and I promise that I will treat them. Either I'll send the answers to you personally or I will have another episode where I will treat those questions so that you can help other people that may not have the opportunity to ask those questions. I believe that you have been blessed so far. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Stay safe. God bless you. And bye.